Story.
Look at you getting all big. I'm Melanie.
And my dad had 9 wives and was not the prophet of the church. Melanie's was. Go ahead.
I'm trying to see how I can mute this. Why is it not coming up? There we go. Oh, it is muted. Hey, everybody. How's everybody been doing? Yeah, we actually been missing book club too. We saw that. We've been missing our book clubs. I think we're going to pick that up again in January.
After the holidays.
Yeah, interest rates kind of dropped a little bit. We've been getting a little bit busy at work. And so it's been a little bit crazy. And I totally forgot to put up a poll for which book we can read in January. But I feel like we're going to pick that back up again. Probably, I'm kind of thinking like the second week of January, we'll pick that back up. What do you think?
Sure.
Oh, I think that we should do it. Oh, so we were just sitting here discussing, somebody had dropped a question on our last video that we wanted. I figured we'd start this show out talking about this, about this question. Let me pull it back up here, but let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, sorry guys, we have been a little bit sick around here. I got it. My mom's now got it. It's something deep inside my chest. And so I apologize. I'm going to try not to clear my throat in the microphone, but, my poor mom's got it now too. And several of our kids have it. So somebody came to our house with something. So we've been a little bit slower this week, but, this last week, a lot of information, a lot of stuff about my mom and my parents and their lawsuit came out. So we want to talk about a lot of that today too. My mom's going to be on the live and she'll be clearing up any couple channels out there who think they're in the know and they're not really in the know. They don't really know what they're talking about.
She's a millionaire heiress.
Yeah.
She's
mom.
Sneaky. Hasn't even told us she's worth millions.
I was like, Mom, are you a Mormon millionaire? And you're lying to me and you haven't told me all this. And so, but there's even a couple of content creators who think they have the inside scoop just because they got a copy of my mom's public lawsuit. So
Baltimore.
Yeah, there's that too, which is interesting. Baltimore. Oh, the name we didn't know. Is that how it is? I don't remember. But if you've been following us on Instagram too, you saw that my mom, well, both of our mothers ended up here again at the same time. That was totally unplanned, totally unexpected. It was awesome to have them. We know we don't have very many more holidays with both of our moms together. And so that's been kind of fun. So we did a Harry Potter baking challenge marathon at our house. And if you know anything about the AUB, Harry Potter was very, very pushed, like it was banned. You could not watch Harry Potter. And my little Down syndrome brother was obsessed with Harry Potter. And so my mom went against,
because it competes with their dogma.
Because it talks about magical stuff. So my mom went against the head of the priesthood and let my little brother watch Harry Potter anyways. And so here we were going against all AUB's teachings and watching Harry Potter Bake Off. I am not a Harry Potter fan. I've never been a Harry Potter fan. I could tell you who Harry Potter is and that's it. But Corey, my mom and his mom were all in heaven. Thank you so much, Pam.
Crafty heart.
Yeah. Thanks for becoming a member. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened with our holiday. And then Corey's, my mom left a couple days ago. Corey's mom left this morning. So now we're empty nesters again. It feels weird. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So
house is empty.
We're going to sit home and be sick together tonight. And so we haven't even gotten in our hot tub in like over a month because we've been so busy. We haven't had a chance to do that. But yeah, welcome so much. Thanks, Pam.
Your mom's on here too. She said,
oh, my mom did get on here. Yep. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so if we answer something incorrectly, my mom's going to hurry and text me or type it in the chat or whatever. I did slow down the comments a little bit so that we can make sure we get to your guys' comments. So thank you, Catherine. It says heavenly love to Robert. Yep. Yeah, this is going to be our third holiday season without Rob. And it's been, I think every year gets a little bit harder, especially on my poor mom. So I'm doped up on cold medicine. So please correct me if I say something that is not right. But okay, so we're going to get to this question. Oh, let me finish this really quick. My brain's all over the place. So I will be putting up a poll. We will start doing book club again the second week of January. And then I'll put up a poll of which book. I kind of feel like we might just start with the Sister Wives book, Becoming Sister Wives. Isn't that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, just because I have
just because we've never read it.
And I'd love to see. point of views in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting too, because over the weekend, I actually got in contact with one of my other mothers recently passed, and we got some of her old books, her old photo albums. And that was fun having my mom there, because she could recognize people. Corey's mom recognized a lot of people.
And I recognized no one.
Corey recognized no one. I recognized a good chunk of people. So we found a picture of Robin when she was 3 years old with her dad and her little sister and her other mother. So I had thought Robin had come into polygamy or into the AUB at a much older age, but apparently she didn't. Apparently she was very, very young. She would have been probably 3 years old in this picture. So
yeah.
Mel's doing Dayquil shots. That's exactly what Dayquil and NyQuil are my two go-tos, and that's exactly what I'm on. So yeah. Okay, so go ahead with this question.
Corey and Mel, I have a question about something Baltimore from the Dark Crystal said on their platform this week. She said that all polygamist Mormon groups believe that they are descendants from Jesus. I know the Kingston group believes this, hence their numbering system, but never heard the claim by other groups.
Is this right, or is this a misunderstanding?
So from my upbringing, yeah, genetically, no, we're not all, they're not, none that I know of genetically are descendants of Christ. I'm sure Kingston's probably think that. That's a noble thought, but usually what it means is your priesthood lineage is what they're trying to trace back, because Joseph Smith claimed that he got the priesthood from Peter, James, and John. Christ's priesthood was bestowed upon him. So you're trying to track your priesthood lineage back to Joseph Smith, and based on the belief system, then back to Christ. So that's what what is super important, is their priesthood lineage, not necessarily their genetic lineage, because yeah, we're all European mongrels or mutts. So
that question came from Diane Stride. Yeah. Thank you so much for that question, because it was a great question. But yeah, it is. I told Corey, this one's yours.
Yeah, most of them don't believe that they're genetically descendants of Christ. That'd be super hard to do, because of I didn't know that they kept genealogy records back that far. I mean, they did, but yeah, Christ's genealogy seems to stop. But the AUB and most of them believe that that Christ had a family, and he did have a genetic dynasty. They believe that he had multiple wives too. So, so I read the Bible as a kid and young adult, and I never saw any evidence of that in the Bible, but it's what they believe and they teach. So
here, this question goes right along with that. Do they believe Jesus was white? I don't think anyone that I know believes Jesus was white.
Yeah, I thought they
know he's of Middle Eastern descent.
Yeah, Hebrew, the Hebrews, so, or Judean.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, I don't think they believe that. I was never taught that.
Never taught that. I was always taught he was of Middle Eastern descent. So.
We always argued with I always argued with my parents, because all the pictures, he had long hair, and we were like, we should be able to grow our hair out. And my dad from military was like, no, you shouldn't.
And honestly, I think a lot of it too is just who you talk to.
Yeah.
Because what happens with these fringe religions that are on the out of a mainstream religion, you get a lot of fanatical people who believe very radicalized ideas. And so one person might feel this way in the AUB, but that doesn't represent the entire AUB. It's not what's taught over the pulpit.
Well, and to be honest, I was taught most of my religious upbringing from my parents, from my dad and my mom's, and they all came from outside of the main group. So yeah, if some of the royal families in there believe that, good on them. But we were never taught that. We were never taught that genetically should be able to trace your
Right.
line back to Christ. Just priesthood. Priesthood's the most important. So
Yeah, priesthood supersedes bloodline pretty
exactly.
much.
Priesthood is
At
the
least that's the
most.
way we were taught. Not
Yeah.
every church believes that. But thank you so much. Catherine Perry says, hope you'll pass this on to Holding Out Help in memory of Robert. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we will
You're
definitely do
wonderful.
that. We met with Holding Out Help recently, went to their facility, looked at what it is that they offer for people, because we have been pushing them so hard. We want to make sure that we are sending people to a reputable place, which we believed it was in the first place. But after going there and seeing what it is that they provide for people, we really would love to, we want to support them even more so now. And so, yes, we will definitely pass that on. Thank you. And we're going to be doing a lot more volunteer work with them too. We just really, really appreciate what they are doing. If you've seen anything in the news about my mom's lawsuit and stuff, the attorney representing my mom has come through Holding Out Help, and we really, really appreciate that. Jenna Johnson said, is it her real dad or the estranged one? Oh, okay. This is from Robin. It was her bio dad. It was her biological dad. So I think Robin would probably been like 3 years old in this picture, maybe 2. But it's probably 3. And it was her biological dad, her biological mom, and her other mother, and then her little sister. And I was like, there is no way this is Robert Mark. What the heck? That's got to be. And so then we went back. I mean, obviously we couldn't recognize Robin because she would have been so tiny, but we did recognize the parents at first. Rosa, that's amazing. Rosa said she was at her dad's over Thanksgiving weekend and got a whole binder of documents pertaining to her custody trial, which happens to be the precedent setting case for polygamy in Utah. Yeah, that's awesome. We should get together and do lunch, and then we'll swap pictures and documents. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Do they believe? Oh, we got that question. I always saw pictures of Jesus as a blue-eyed blonde. Drove my grandparents crazy with questions about that. That's funny. I was never taught that. I was always taught he was Middle Eastern, but again, what do I know? Let's see. I slowed down the comments, which is awesome. Let's see. I love you guys. Grew up in a very fundamentalist Christian group, so there's a lot I can relate to, not in polygamy. Wondering if the term covering the brothers was used in your culture to excuse things. Corey would know that more than me.
I don't think they use covering the brother, and it was more of you don't speak ill of the priesthood leaders. So if somebody brought an accusation against a priesthood leader, then the priesthood leader or leaders would make a statement, and that's what you were to believe. So
right.
So you did not believe any outside anything, news articles, anything like that. You just could not believe that. You had to believe their word. You didn't speak ill, and you believed everything that the living prophet. And they were so irritated with the church because the church was or the LDS church was doing follow the living prophet, but it's their belief system too. So they're like, no, what the living prophet is saying is the truth now. Mm-hmm. So even though the last prophet said something different. So
right. So yeah, that's, again, we go back to the AUB makes up the rules. I feel like it's not just the AUB, it's every polygamous sect out there, or every religious sect out there makes up their own rules, what they believe God wants for people on the planet. And not trying to be sacrilegious to any particular group, but it is very, it's very, I don't know, I think they're crazy. Yeah. So one of the things, I dropped the comment thing from 30 seconds down to 20 seconds. So hopefully we can get more questions in there. But so there's obviously, if most of you guys have seen it, if you followed my Instagram or anything, you'll see that there's a lawsuit out there my mom has filed against my dad. I can't go into a lot of the specifics because of an NDA, but anything that's public information we can talk about here. So there we were sent a video that we had to laugh at a little bit because this particular creator believes that they have the inside scoop on all of the things And so it just cracks me up.
All-knowing.
Yeah.
It
So
could be a prophet, a PSR of the what is it? The social media. So
yeah.
they know all. So
it was represented in this video that my mom has been seeking a release from my dad for decades and then she was seeking compensation for property that my dad stole from my mom, all of which is completely false. So for being investigative journalists, there's not a lot of real true investigation that happens. It doesn't feel like. Even the articles that went out with my mom were wrong. Like so much of the articles were wrong. So much of everything was incorrect. My mom is let's just clear this up real quick. She's not a Mormon millionaires. She hasn't had anything. I still believe it. You do? You think she's hiding money from us?
Somewhere.
Dang you, woman. But she has not had anything to do with her health food store in over 20 years. So as you all know, my little brother was Down syndrome. And then my mom had a surprise caboose baby. People asked what a caboose was. It's just the end of a train with you and you have 11 children. She's the baby. She's the end. And so she had her and she was a surprise. And my mom was 46 when she had her. And it just got to be a lot. It got to be a lot for my mom. So she stepped away from the health food store because she just, my little brother was in diapers till he was 14. So there was a lot to manage there. So she has not had anything. They did keep her name on the store. I have my opinion as to why they did that. I could be incorrect. I'm just going to tell you, this is my reasoning. This could be completely wrong. My mom is very kind, and a lot of people know my mom, and she's gone into a lot of the different polygamous communities to assist other communities in healing and taking care of their sick, whatever. And so people knew my mom. Her name is not very common. Sherlyn is not a common name. And so people knew my mom. Her reputation preceded her in many, many, many circles. And so the people that she started her health food store decided, let's just keep capitalizing off that name and let's keep that name. So that's why in my opinion, that's why they kept the name. I no longer shop at that store. I don't support the store. I don't have anything to do with the store. I will not tell people not to shop there. Go for it. I just happen to shop on Amazon now because it's cheaper. So, but for me, I just definitely wanted to clear that up because there's a lot of upset between some of the grandchildren because they're like, your mom doesn't own this store. My mom owns this store. You guys need to take your, and so it's ridiculous. It's a news
article. They got a lot of things wrong.
It's a news article that never even talked to either one of my parents. There's a content creator that never has talked to my parents who think that they have all of the in the know. My mom has never sought out a release from my dad. She's never asked for a release from my dad. Not that I'm aware of. Mom, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think she's ever inquired and asked for a release. She's never. So to report that my mom has tried to get a release for decades is completely false and incorrect. To say that my mom is seeking damages because my dad stole property from my mom is completely incorrect. My dad hasn't stolen anything from my mom. He just is not willingly giving it up and willingly letting her have what she believes is fair, what we all believe is fair. So there you go. Did I say anything I probably shouldn't have said?
I think no, I'm good. So yeah, seeking a release. Yeah, that's the technical term. Get the hell out. Might have been, some people could say, hey, that's her seeking a release. So
right.
Kicked him to the curb. So
she has never even gone in front of the priesthood council to talk about all of this stuff. And so it's just, this particular content creator loves to put out there that she's got a lot of inside scoop from the AUB. If you are AUB and you're watching us, please feel free to reach out to us. We would love to tell your story accurately and correctly, which is why we started our channel, because it felt like things were getting so misconstrued and sensationalized and thrown out there. I just had a long conversation with my mom about that this morning. One of the things too, she's like, everybody needs to be really careful when they say always, my dad always did this, or the men in the priesthood always did this. And so she's like, because honestly, did your dad always come home and beat you every night he came home? And I said, yes, that would be a hill I would die on. Every single time my father came home, I was physically beaten. Whether it was just a crack on the head with his knuckles, whether it was a full-on beating, whatever it was, I don't remember one single time that my dad ever came home that we were not physically assaulted in some manner. So that part is accurate. That part is true. But other than that, my mom says, I'll throw this up here, Mom. My mom says, I have never asked for a release because he let me know that he owns me.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of inaccurate reporting out there, especially from people who have inside sources in the AUB. Well, that's awesome that you do, but they don't know shit either. So you might want to fix that.
And you can't die on or you can't say that there wasn't a time that you came home as a child that your dad didn't thump you, because at a certain time in your childhood you were married. You had another guy.
Wow. I was reading questions. I wasn't even paying attention to you. And then you got my attention real quick.
Yeah. So at a certain point, he turned over the beatings to a husband.
Let's clear that up real quick. My ex-husband never laid a finger on me, not even once. Never.
Yeah, he was scared.
He just was mentally abusive, but physically abusive, no, he was not. He couldn't even like discipline our children. He was soft as could be. He couldn't do that, but physically, but mentally and emotionally, yes, very abusive. So
after the age of 17,
then yes, I was another man's problem, not my father's problem.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, that is definitely something that did happen, and it happened regularly in our home. It happened, even if it was just, I was just sitting there and my dad would walk by and he'd get frustrated with me and he'd just be like, get out of my seat, and smack me on the head and then walk and then like make me move. So there's not a time that I don't remember. I literally don't remember one single time where I was not somewhat physically assaulted by my father when he came home. So I can't prove that in court. I can't do anything like that, but just know that yes, Janelle from Sister Wives would have had to go get her release from my father. Yes, my dad would have given her a release for the exact same atrocities that he is extremely guilty of. And yet he doesn't see that in his own mind. So there you go. Mm-hmm. Not every content creator has the inside scoop or the inside story or even knows what the hell she's talking about, which is another reason why we started our channel. And I know they watch our stuff because a lot of the stuff they echo and say the exact same things we've been saying on our channel. But that is truly why I started this channel, was because I felt like my sister did an interview. My sister did that channel a favor. That my sister's interview is one of that channel's top videos. So my sister did her a favor. She did not do my sister a favor. I just want to be super clear about that. And so that's why I started the channel, because I felt like things were so misrepresented. And here I am on a rant. Don't get me on cold medicine and then put me on a live. This is a bad idea. So
that reminds me of the Grinch, where he's like, I'm an idiot. She's echoing everything. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I am on a little bit of cold medicine, probably the same as a glass of wine, and I'm just going to go off. But that is why I did start my channel. I wanted things to be portrayed as accurately as possible. That's why my mom does watch all of our stuff. She does correct me if she feels like I've misrepresented something or not represented it fully and correctly. Like one time I did say my dad was 6'9". I apologize. My dad's 6'8". I know. I was like,
runt.
Really, Mom?
He's such a runt.
My dad's a runt. But yeah, so that it's just interesting because some people feel like they know they're the professionals or they're the authority on something, and they're just not. They just because you saw it on public record, and then they want to prove it by showing that they have a copy of court documents. That's fine. Like, go ahead. Those are just preliminary court documents. My dad hasn't been found guilty of anything that was put in those court documents. It's just that's what was represented.
Molly, Deb, you are correct.
Oh,
it's Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mel with glass of wine has truth flowing out of her. Mel with cold medicine has a bunch of truth, apparently. So I just get tired of it. I've been bullied by this creator, extremely bullied. because I refuse to do an interview with them. I've tried not to even acknowledge this channel on our channel because it's just not noteworthy. It's just not, I feel like the things that are said on that channel are just not it's just not accurate when it comes to my situation or my family's situation. So there you go. Okay, let's get back to some questions
What
now that I've
books would you
blown that
recommend?
subject out of the water. And if anyone has any questions, we're happy to answer the questions that I can answer about my mom's lawsuit. Now that it's gone very public, it's all over in the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail has now released 2 different articles about it. A local news channel here, ABC4, has done a news article about it, which I just reposted on our Instagram. If you follow Instagram,
I did a Google search and there was like 6 news articles.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a bunch of them. And nobody has talked to my mom. Nobody has talked to, they're hopscotching off of other people's misreporting. So yeah. And so, yeah, we are 100% in support of my mother and what she's trying to do. All my mom ever wanted was a life estate. My dad only guaranteed my mom a place to live until my disabled brother passed. Once he passed, then my dad and his legal wife have done everything they can to try to get my mom out of her home. So my mom's only recourse was to file this lawsuit. That she didn't have any other options. And again, she has never, especially not for decades, ever gone to the priesthood or the leadership of the AUB and asked for a release. She has never done any of that. She has never claimed that my dad has stolen property from her. What was the other thing my mom said this morning that was so misrepresented on this other channel? That she started her health food stores and every dollar went to my dad.
Well, and that 3 or 4 wives had left.
Oh yeah.
So and I'm like, he
Dave
would
Watson claims he has 8 wives, but 3 and possibly 4 of them have left him. I'm like, which ones? The ones that died? Like, come on! If you're going to report it, get it right.
Yeah, he would argue that they were in harmony with him.
Because they're dead. They can't argue with him.
They're up waiting for him to come through the veil to bring him through. So
right. And so no, my dad does claim to have 8 wives. It could be more. I'm out of the loop now. I don't know this. But he had 8 wives at one point. The first wife divorced him when I was 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old. And he still considers her a wife because she never got a spiritual release from him. My mom is wife number 2. Then he's got wife number 3, who is still with him. Wife number 4, who recently passed away. It was her photo albums I was able to go through the other night. Wife number 5 is still with him. Wife number 6 is still with him. She is the legal wife. Wife number 7 has died. And wife number 8 was my best friend growing up and is still currently married to my dad. So that's the rundown on my dad's polygamous wives. So yeah, 2 of them have died and 1 legally divorced him. And my mom has left him and he still has 4 active wives with him.
As up to a year ago when she was still able to talk to him.
Right. He doesn't inform me anymore. Odds are he's probably been sealed to other women, but we don't know that. So somebody says, it must be nefarious revelation. Yeah, it probably is.
I Will Be Tina says after 50 plus years, she should get 75%.
Absolutely.
Dave would argue with you on that one. He's hoping that the judge doesn't think that way too. So that would be fun.
Yeah. So let's see. Still wondering why he'd make your brother's passing the end date. Was he getting a cut of your brother's Social Security check? So no, he just guaranteed as long as my brother needed a place to live, he would provide. So this is one thing that my dad has been very, very good about, is always making sure that his children have a home over their heads. And so
until they're married.
And then he's like, get out. But no, he's my dad. This is something that I have to give credit where credit is due. And this is one thing that my dad has always made sure, that his family has had a place to live. There's a lot of polygamous men who don't even take that seriously. And they just, let the wives figure out where they're going to live with their children. But my dad has never been that way. He has always been made sure. Now, he doesn't provide a lot of other things, but he does make sure that there's a home for his children. So as long as my brother was alive and needed a place to live, my dad was going to make sure that he was housed. That doesn't make my dad a saint. It doesn't make my dad this noteworthy person by any means. It just means that he took care of that one responsibility that he felt like he was supposed to take care of. So that, so when nobody expected my brother to pass, it was a very unexpected passing. The way he passed was very tragic. It was very unexpected. And he was only 28. He was almost 29 when he passed. And so it wasn't like an end date. There wasn't like, hey, you can have it. But my dad clearly said we would do that. What?
Make sure have a home, but not a bed.
That's so true. Catherine.
You know Mel so well.
How do you know me? I literally have never had a bed in my entire life, one that belonged to me. But my mom called me about that one time. She's like, why did you say that on your video? That's not true. I'm like, it is too true. When have I ever had a bed? And she tells me, well, you had this one bed this one time. I'm like, no, I didn't. That wasn't my bed. That was so-and-so's bed that they borrowed me because it was actually Mary Barber's other mother's bed. Mary Brown. It was Mary Brown's other mother's bed. And they let me use it because she was leaving Mary's dad. This is Polygonometry 101. And so she was leaving Mary's dad at the time, and she was moving to another state. So she let me use her bed. And that was the only time I ever had like my own bed. Other than that, I never understood.
Does your father have a lawyer?
Yes, my father does have a lawyer.
And God on his
side.
And
God on his side. Sorry, I should not be on Cold Medicine on Alive. That's hilarious. Let me figure out. Yeah. Catherine just got me right in the heart. No, just kidding, Catherine. Thank you for that. Yeah, I appreciate your honesty, even when it's what people don't want to hear. It is hard to, I just listen to other people talk, and I don't even care I don't care if people get it wrong. It doesn't matter. What kind of puts a spur under me is when people are like, they are the authority and you should only listen to them because they're the only ones that truly know. That's when I get a little bit annoyed. We don't even claim to truly know. We're over here like, hey, this is our opinion of how we grew up. Other people have a different opinion. We're not even the authority on anything.
Mary's mother's brother's cousin's bed.
Yes.
And see, this is where polygamists are great. They'll break the law on living polygamy. You can't live polygamy. That's against the law. But they will not take those what are they? The labels off of the beds, because usually it's got the lineage of who's been on that bed.
Oh my God, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Because they pass them down. So. So, yep, secondhand beds going everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I heard God was actually on your mom's side. I really hope so too. I think, one of the things we talked about is an NDA. My dad was wanting to force an NDA, and my mom, I'm so proud. My mom's watching. I'm so proud of you, Mom, because she refused to do an NDA. Because what's the point in going through all of this? In suing my dad, making this public. This is very vulnerable for my mom. She feels very exposed by all of this. And so what's the point in going through all of this if other women and children and other people leaving these kind of situations can't benefit from it? So she refused an NDA so that she can so hopefully this benefits and helps other people.
Yep.
So, yeah. And I agree 100% with Rosa right here. Nobody truly knows, I don't think. Everyone has their own experiences and their own perspectives. Exactly. Because even what we're saying here, my dad would get on here and very publicly argue that we're wrong.
All lies.
Right. And he was reached out to by some of the different channels and they all said his only comment was, everything they say is a lie, no comment. So there you go. Let me see. Sorry, did I just go off on a tangent?
Yep. Tangent.
What did I say?
I don't know.
I go off.
You said it medicated.
I know. So this question, yes, is from Yes and Caviaria. Sorry, I'm going to totally kill that word name. So grateful that you clocked her fast. She is extremely toxic and hurts many people with her inaccurate and accusatory comments. Yeah, I don't watch this channel at all, but I got sent this one particular video because she showed pages of my mom's lawsuit in there several times. So I checked it out and just laughed. we both laughed all the way through it, like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And so, yeah, we're absolutely happy to answer things. I'm like, good thing we're doing a live tomorrow. Let's just talk about this. Let's talk about this on our live.
Yeah.
So let's see. Karen says, sounds like it. I'd probably didn't watch if I saw the subject. She definitely takes liberties and thinks she knows more than she does. Yeah, there's a lot of liberties taken. And again, my mom has not tried to get a release from my dad for decades. Let's see. I was told during my own divorce not to sign an NDA because my ex would use it to have me in court every other day to control and torture me. Yeah. Well, and when you're in such a public situation like where my dad is right now, an NDA could be very, very detrimental to helping other people. Like, what's the point in it? If you cannot help other women get out of these kind of situations. And again, my mom has partnered, or well, Holding Out Help is partnered with my mom in helping her get through this situation, which we, again, cannot thank them enough for the services that they have done. And her attorney is an amazing attorney who has helped dozens, if not hundreds, of former polygamous people go through stuff like this. So, yeah, and this is true. My opinion has always been that the grifters and people who try to claim more understanding than they should actually do a disservice to the real stories that actually affect people. It's gross, in my opinion. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I did start my channel. I was really sad when my sister's story got taken up.
So does polygamy come up in court proceedings now? I don't think they use the term polygamy. Polygamy is legally married to multiple women. So no, they don't use that term. It's still illegal. It's just not prosecuted. And so
Yeah.
they use different terms more along the lines of him cohabitating with multiple women. So, but
Because
polygamy would
is
mean they were
federally
married.
illegal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So polygamy would mean that they were all married, and so I can't remember the term bigamy or some other term, but it's or unlawful cohabitation or something like that. So they use the probably will be using the legal terms of
right
of
cohabitation
when a man has multiple baby mamas or whatever they are.
Yeah. So honestly, feel free to email us questions or whatever, and we'll always address them on a live. We've been trying to go live at least once a week, and to answer questions and stuff like that. So we'll try to get going on that a little bit more. I don't know who Amanda Ray is. I'm sorry. People have brought her up on our channel a couple of times. I'm not sure who she is. I might follow her, but I don't know. So maybe somebody could tell me, is she the one from the Kingston? And I think she's got blonde hair or something like that, but I don't follow Amanda Ray. If I do, I don't know that I do. I've been following a couple different ex-polygamous people on TikTok, but I don't know. Yeah. And I agree with this. Without an NDA, others will be able to use the information to get out. It's public service not to sign one.
Yeah.
And I agree. I completely agree. Let's see. Have you guys ever watched Seeking Sister Wives? So crazy. We watched the very first season because we knew some of the people on that season, but other than that, I don't watch it because it just, I don't know. It's irrelevant to anything. We grew up with polygamy being taught as a religion, as not just a lifestyle. And I feel like Seeking Sister Wives is more of a lifestyle. But I don't know. We just haven't really watched it. Oh, Amanda Ray is from the Kingstons. Okay, yeah. See, I follow some of her stuff on TikTok, but I need to go look her up. I honestly just don't know who she is. Oh, somebody said something. What?
Jay Patel asked a good question.
Oh, where? Jay Patel says what? Oh, right here. What moment did you both have where you really clicked that you had left the AUB?
May 11th,
Corey.
1997, excommunicadoed. So
He's
when I
got
got
his
my excommunication papers, I was like, oh yeah, I'm no longer part of the AUB. I've got papers to prove it. So yeah, May 11th, 1997. So,
that's funny. He's got his excommunication letter right there.
yeah.
No, that's funny.
And I wouldn't even have known that if I didn't pull this out.
Do you want to show that? I mean, I guess you don't have to like hold
Yeah.
it up so everybody can see it, but do you black out your last name?
I did.
Yeah, he framed it.
Framed it.
He thought that this was, oh yeah, it's like it's separate, it's killing our lighting there, but
I don't know if
yeah.
you can see it.
He framed his excommunication papers because he thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
Rosa says, oh wait, hold on. Okay, Amanda Ray is from the Kingston. She's blonde. She's my second cousin. Love her. She did Escaping Polygamy. Okay,
Nice.
that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know. Isn't there like another Amanda? I think I'm getting the two of them confused. There was another Amanda, but no, I have seen some of her stuff too, and I think she's I thought she was really cute. Okay, I have a feeling about Escaping Polygamy, but that's a long story. Yeah. We actually had met up, my mom and my sister Emily and I had met up with one of the girls who founded Escaping Polygamy a couple months ago. And yeah, they had that one got taken off the air. So no, I'm not talking about the creator that I'm speaking about on our on right now about is not Amanda Ray. I don't know who Amanda Ray is. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to clear up. Sorry, it's not Amanda Ray. I really don't know who that is. This is funny right here. You should text a picture of that letter to Brady Williams so he can be jealous again. Yeah, we were in a conversation with Brady and a couple other people, and they were like, how did you get an excommunication letter, Corey? I need one of those.
You have to be important enough to be excommunicated. So
yeah.
So or stubborn enough. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy needs it in writing.
Yeah. So they were all disappointed that they didn't get an excommunication letter. I thought that was hilarious. They're like, what's wrong with us? Why didn't we get one? Somebody says, I love it. I would want to have it framed also. He does have it framed. It is sitting right here on our desk so he can go to it and reach it.
Yeah, they spelt my name wrong, so they probably excommunicated some poor other sap out of the AUB, but I still kept it. So they got the right address. So
it says, is it typed or handwritten? It's typed, but it's hand signatured.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's okay. So Corey, that's brilliant. Yes, there are two. Okay. That's what I thought. I think there was two Amandas. So that's where I think I'm getting them confused, but no, I have watched quite a bit of Amanda from the Kingston's group. I've watched quite a bit of her videos and I really like a lot of her stuff. You have to be born into a heathen family, Corey's sister says, in order to get excommunicated.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rosa says they took that episode off the show, or am I misunderstanding what you said there? Because that would be interesting. No, I heard that the show got taken off TV because of that episode. There was an episode with AUB where a polygamous man was escaping polygamy with his two wives. And that I heard Escaping Polygamy got removed from television because of that. Now that's just hearsay. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I had heard when we were talking to this girl. Yeah. So basically Corey got the council members' autographs.
I did. Yeah.
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
So let's see. Most people don't get officially X'd, but Cody is high profile enough that maybe he did. No, Corey did. Maybe Rosa hasn't been around long enough to know Corey got excommunicated. So that is Corey's official excommunication letter. He has two of them. Because one of them says that his name is removed from the book of the Lamb of God, and he is no longer to ever step foot on priesthood property again, and to leave the city of Pinesdale and never come back.
Without written permission from the priesthood leaders.
Yeah. So he was excommunicated. What year was that? 1997?
1997 is when I officially got my letter.
Yeah. So how old would you have been? 26?
Long. Yeah.
Were you 26?
Is that the...
Yeah. 97 minus 71.
Yeah,
You're 26 years old.
when they finally got the letter to me. So probably been a year before that.
Yeah.
Because I was dating improperly.
He got excommunicated for adultery.
Yeah.
Even though she was not married and Corey was not married, he got excommunicated. Can I tell your story for you? I mean, you're just sitting here. I guess you could tell it.
Licking the butter off other men's bread. So.
And she was actually ran through the endowment house, the temple, within 6 months after this whole thing went down, and Corey was excommunicated. So, yeah. That's funny. I did not know that, Rosa. Said I would be surprised if they canceled the show because of that. I wouldn't be surprised if they canceled the show because of that, because people lost their about that episode. I told you that it was my house, right? Yeah, I think actually I do remember having that conversation. And I'm pretty sure that's the girl that we talked to. She was one of the founders of Escaping Polygamy, and she had said, yeah, and that one was so blown out of proportion. It was unreal. So, I know. Okay. Thank you, Linda. This is exactly how I felt. Wow. The audacity of a human thinking that they could remove a name from the Lamb of God. When I first read I'm like, wow, these men have, God complexes for sure. So
authority.
They have authority issues.
They're God's mouthpieces here upon the earth. So,
yeah. Oh, Corey just made you spit. You just made somebody spit their coffee out because he licked the butter off someone's bread. Is that what he said? I'm like, I don't know. Corey says so much shit. I never know what he's saying. Yeah. As if a person living on earth in 1997 could not only get his hands on the Lamb's Book of Life, but then actually remove a name from it. That's the exact verbiage that they put in there. Your name has been removed from the Book of the Lamb of God. Please do not come over. Well, it didn't even say please. It was a demand to not come on priesthood property anymore. Again, this is the way that these men, a lot of these men are. Again, we're not going to say all of them, but a lot of them are very much this way. There's a lot of power, a lot of control.
I can just see Monty Python doing a sketch. He's got his righteous rubber and is up there erasing the names from the Book of the Lamb of God.
Rubber eraser?
Yeah.
You probably should say that.
the English is Monty Python. So up there with the righteous rubber, taking out the names of people they don't like in the Book of God. So, Lamb of God.
Corey's a huge Monty Python fan. He does a lot of Monty Python references. So let's see. Yeah.
John Cleese, if you're out there, do a
Corey,
thing for me. That'd be great.
Corey would love that. A future man's bread, someone who wasn't even dating any guy yet. Your way kind of sounds bad. Sorry. Yeah. When I was like, would they, because Corey studied the scriptures. He knew what he was talking about.
Past. Now I study FOR or FOTR, Fellowship of the Rings, Chapter 5, The Hobbit, all the same storylines. So
yeah, maybe just not pick up a coffee for a while. She says, I don't blame you, Tina. I don't blame you at all. Okay, human trafficking. Do you agree with this?
No.
Do you agree with that? Sounds like an overly sensationalized to me, but I don't know. Okay, so basically Cody Brown and my dad have been accused of human trafficking. I don't know enough to give that accurate of a response to that.
Cody Brown and
just people in the AUB. There has been accusations of that, so we will at least acknowledge that. Not just from content creators. There's been accusations of that by authorities. What are you smirking at? I just want to tread lightly on that one because I don't know personally. I haven't heard of that kind of stuff personally. So I just want to kind of tread lightly on that. What?
Yeah. I don't know either. It depends on what human trafficking, what the definition of it is. Do they at one point in time say, hey, yeah,
Right.
my 17-year-old daughter should marry this man and I don't have to worry about it. I don't
Is
know.
it a
what
form
is
of
it?
human trafficking? Sure. I would absolutely agree with that. But to the level of severity of it, I don't know. So I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that I don't have enough information to give an informed
Decision.
opinion about it, to be honest.
Because in the AUB, I mean, I understand how FLDS and these other ones worked. In some form, I guess there could be times within the AUB that accusations could be said, hey, yeah, these guys were being human trafficked. But for the most part, we as kids, I mean, we grew up on a farm, worked, and
yeah, I would say yes.
Human trafficking is moving them from we move from one farm to another working. So it's your definition of it, but we were just growing up as kids. So
not to make light of that subject, because it really is a very important subject, but I just don't have enough information about it. But would I say that it is a form? Absolutely. Would I say that there are children who are, and women? Absolutely.
Have been moved.
We even talked about Rulin and one of his daughters, and your dad was one of the lynchmen that went and got her.
Well, and that so within the AUB, what they're believing is, well, this family needs to be moved because something in the law is going on. It's got to be secretive. So did a lot of the women and children think that they were being human trafficked? No, they were running from the law. They were running from a situation. They were moving within the communities, thinking that they were being kept safe.
Right.
So, and so later on, when you look at it, that could be the definition of it. But they felt like, and the community felt like, they're trying to keep certain people and families and kids safe. So by moving them around so that the authorities or other family members who were outside of it didn't know where they were at. So,
and truthfully, I just read a comment that I agree with this. Well, it just sparked a memory. Spooky Micah says one of the LDS apostles' brothers was just arrested for crimes against children. So it's just kind of sparked a memory. I do remember growing up and having younger girls, my age, 14, 15, moved from one family to another because she was starting to accuse, let's say, a father of sexual abuse or of being SA'd or something like that. And so these children were moved around so that they no longer could cause a problem. And so I don't know if that would be considered more where you're just, you know what, these men acted badly in this community and they abused these children. And now these children are standing up and saying something. So now these children need to be removed and sent to another community. I do remember hearing a lot of stories of stuff like that. So yes, I would say there is a form of it. Absolutely. But I feel like it definitely gets, it's a sketchy area because it's not always provable. The more we get involved with holding out help, I'm sure the more we'll hear about stuff like this. So again, I can't give you personal experience on this. And that's what we tried to stick to. Is your mom the first woman to sue an AUB prophet? I'm not in Utah, so I don't know how big news this story is to the general public and within the AUB. Yes, my mom is the first person. Who else sued one?
Virginia Hill, but she's the first one within the AUB.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
And she won. Virginia
Hill did win a money laundering lawsuit against the AUB. Yes.
And a prophet of the AUB.
Yes.
So this would be the second woman to sue the AUB that I know of.
That's true.
But she is from within the group.
Virginia Hill was not part of the AUB in any way. She just knew somebody who knew somebody, and that's where the money had come from. And
this is super hard coming from within the community and doing this because you're basically you're not supposed to bring anything going on within the community up in front of the public or the Gentiles or the government. So this is all supposed to be handled within the AUB.
Yeah.
This is the first time
Oh yeah,
it's
that's what.
coming out
So
of the
that's what she
AUB.
meant. A wife suing a prophet specifically.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
the very first time that this has ever happened, which is one of the reasons why Holding Out Helps wanted to step in and help my mom too, because this really will set a huge precedence for a lot of other women. Because again, going back to the human trafficking, there's so much abuse that we just don't know. You hear little rumors about things. You hear little, oh gosh, did you hear what happened to so and his wife and so and their wives? This is another reason we wanted to start our channel, so that we could openly speak about these things. And it's scary, because my mom is going into new territory, and she's scared shitless most of the time. And she's had a lot of tears and a lot of emotion, and she feels very exposed, very vulnerable, very like it's hard when you open up social media and there's your face right there. Like it is very validating. I'm trying to validate my mom's feelings as much as I possibly can right now, because it's scary. This is uncharted territory. No one has ever done this. And I have to hand it to my mom for doing it, because, and thank God she's got 7 girls, and all of her girls are supporting her in doing this with him.
And she's probably one of the best people to do it,
right?
Because a lot of people know her within the AUB.
A lot of people know who my mom is, especially
know her character,
know who she is, know what her reputation precedes her quite often, because she is so kind. And she has been, when she started up her health food store, the whole purpose of that was to be able to help other people. And when she left under very strenuous circumstances. It wasn't the best of parting of ways. It was very scary time for my mom to figure out what to do next. And I don't know. I'm proud of her. Good job, Mom. I'm proud of you for what you're doing.
I wanted to answer this one too.
Let's see. Is money? Oh,
yeah, that's the one. Where is it?
Oh, yeah. Is money laundering common? It's up at the top a little bit.
Yes, but they like to use the term allocating
funds,
tithing funds to a worthy cause, or to a needed cause within the.
I needed a new car.
I needed this,
and you had more than you needed, so you give me that money so that I can go get this car. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so we out here in the world call it money laundering. Within the AUB, it's considered paying your tithing, your full tithe, and just being okay with where the leadership spends it or moves it or adjusts it without questioning at all. So pros.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They're pros at moving tithing funds around to needed head leadership things. So
yeah, I would say it's extremely common. Again, it falls into that the human trafficking thing. You hear the stories, you hear this, but it's not always exactly provable. And so
they're just outside world terms. And they were like, no, we don't money launder, but you do move tithing funds to these different companies and shell companies and stuff like that. Well, yeah. Okay. So we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
Tithing funds, movements, and money laundering, they both equal the same thing. So.
Yeah. Yes. And I agree with this. Sounds like everyone needs therapy. I absolutely agree with you on this one. This is exactly why on our channel, we always encourage healing. Please go find some. And that's what I told Corey. I don't want our channel to become a gossip channel. I want a channel to be encouraging people who have been through religious traumas or been through human traumas to seek out the healing that they need. Because everybody deserves to know what it feels like to have peace and joy in their lives, and to feel loved and to feel respected and have dignity. And that is one thing that I feel like so many of the women and children in this religion just don't have. They don't know what it feels like to genuinely be loved. They don't know what it feels like to have any self-respect or dignity. There was another one. Oh, thank you, Marie. She says, I was thinking about your mom the other night. I'm 75. I have a comfy home, a loving husband, and I cannot imagine being pushed out of my home without my husband. God bless you, Sherlyn. Yeah.
Yeah. Robin even brought it up on the last episode. This is normal. This is kind of, everybody sees the wives that are being pushed out within the community.
Yeah.
And so it's just a normal Sunday for the AUB.
Yeah.
That one wife, or that some of the wives are on the out. So
right. So thank you guys so much for doing this. I'm sure it's not without some risk, at the very least, to your blood pressure. Yeah, I agree. Education is key and spreading information is powerful. I didn't get to the end of that one. Sorry. But yeah, that is one of the biggest reasons why we wanted to start our channel. And I'm grateful that I started the channel a couple of years ago, because I feel like, you know, energy attracts other energy. And I feel like having my mom see some of the, you know, this has been scary as shit to put ourselves out here sometimes, and vulnerability hangovers are real. And when there's times where we get off a live or something, and we get off a video and we're like, oh my gosh, did we say too much? Did we, you know, we don't want to hurt the people that we love still too, that are still actively involved in the AUB. And so it's a scary place to be sometimes. And so yeah, I'm grateful that, but I feel like when one person makes one step, it allows other people to make another step, and it allows other people to take another step. One of the things that Rosa said on here, which I really appreciate, Rosa, thank you for saying this, is that right here, for the record, I've talked to a lot of my women friends that are still affiliated in the AUB, and I haven't spoken to anyone who isn't rooting for you, Sherlyn. I think all women want you to win.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think my mom, and maybe my mom in her lifetime, won't see the impact that what she is doing will have for generations of women that are born and raised into this religion. What are you going to say?
Well, no, it's because she is a well-loved figure within the AUB. She is. So, and so for having her have the courage to step forward and do this, it's going to inspire a lot of other people that have just sat back and taken the abuse. So
yeah,
and she's standing up and going, no more. Okay, you guys have to be better. You have to be better leaders. You have to be better husbands. Stuff like that. So
yeah. And somebody asked the question, how do the wives survive when they get too old to work? A lot of times they're relying on their children. They're relying on, you know, because they don't have Social Security to fall back on. They don't have, they're truly dependent and relying on their children. Most of the times the homes are owned by the priesthood or the leadership, because again, didn't we just have a money laundering conversation where, you know, money is moved from place to place. And so they own a lot of property. And so one of the things that I feel like has been fairly new in maybe in the last, I don't know how long, maybe 10 years or so, they started building elderly homes. So they now have a home in Montana and they have a home down here in Utah where a lot of these elderly women are coming to live, and they're taken care of. A lot of people from the AUB will work there, and they're employed there, and they can go in there and then they help to take care. And there's somebody on duty 24 hours a day that help these elderly women.
Yeah. And growing up in Pinesdale, that was a united order. They set it up kind of that way. We as children and young men would go down and make sure that they would be taken care of, that we were making sure we were bringing food to them, filling up, doing grocery runs if they needed it from the store, making sure they had, especially in winter, most of them had wood fireplaces, that their porches were stocked with wood and things like that. So we as young men in the community would go around and take care of the elderly up there in Pinesdale. So I don't know how they did it down here in Utah, but that was part of our priesthood job, is to go around and make sure all of the widows and widowers were taken care of throughout the community. So
and we've talked about that before. What, you know, Corey did that a lot for a lot of like just chucking wood. Like, man, when I met, if you see Corey as a teenager, he's huge. He's got ginormous muscles because those boys were constantly chucking wood up there in Montana.
Yeah, we slowed down, got a little, and it was cold weather up there, so we put on insulation. So
it's
so
not that. It's
I'm
called
husky.
insulation.
Yeah, I'm husky.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. Okay. Oh, no, go back. It says, Rosa says, at this point, I would say that the homes in the community are about 50-50 on church-owned property and privately owned property. They moved away from community ownership after the Virginia Hill case.
They're working on it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Pinedale's kind of going that same direction where they're trying to have more individual ownership. Again, it depends on who you are and what your last name is.
Yeah, one of my favorite, he was an old widower up there, and he was a World War II veteran. And so we'd go over to his house all the time, make sure that he had food in the house, put the wood on there, but then he'd tell us stories about World War II. And that was awesome for us as kids, as young men. So
yeah,
hearing his stories about all of the World War II wars. So
that's awesome.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah. Thank you, Lily Norman, for this. How can I help? Is there a link for donations? We do put a link for Holding Out Help at the top of all of our show notes. So if anybody would like to go donate there, they asked that we have you guys put that you came in off our channel. I guess there's a section for notes. You do not have to do that. However, they just like to know where people.
But we're okay if you put nefarious revelation.
Yeah.
As came in through nefarious revelation.
Yeah, I want to answer this question too. In temple weddings, is convenient between couples as a covenant between couples spoken out loud. Cody stated that, right? That Robin and was not, if not in love, what is allowed to leave me? Would everyone be present have heard it? Cody stated that okay. I think I kind of get an idea. So yes, there's a couple of different teachings here that I actually thank you for this question, because I actually wanted to bring this up at the beginning and I kind of forgot. The prophet that was the prophet for the majority of my lifetime, Rulon Allred's younger son, Owen, or younger brother, Owen Allred, always taught across the pulpit everywhere that it was the love of the woman that sealed the marriage. If there was no love from that woman, then there was no marriage. There was no eternal bond or commitment. And that is what could break the marriage. So yes, there are witnesses in the room that talk about, you make this covenant, you're up on an altar. Typically the man, all of his wives and the new wife coming in would all be present. And am I missing anything?
No,
you're like, I don't know. You were
I don't
there.
know. You were there.
I had been there. When the day that I got married, I was the first wife, but the day that I got married, I was witnessing a second wife being joined into the family. So yes, everyone can hear the covenant. Everyone can hear the promise, but there's just a lot of different ways to undo that promise. Again, the AUB makes up the rules as they go along. It depends on who you are. And so Owen always taught that it was the love of the woman that ended the marriage. So this is another reason why my mom has never sought a release, because she feels that is her way out of it, if that's what she wants to do.
Well, that if she no longer loves him, then the marriage is no longer valid. So
right. Then she won't be stuck in this forever. So thank you for that question. I wanted to answer that before. That is one of the reasons. So these other creators who want to say, oh, my mom's tried to seek out a release for decades. No, that's not true. She's never once done that, because she doesn't feel like she needs to, because she feels like her own admission of not being in love with my father anymore is enough. What were you going to read?
Just the nefarious chapstick brigade.
Oh my gosh. I know. I was actually kind of slightly getting embarrassed. I have 2, 4, 6. I have 10 chapsticks here on the, well, and especially right now where I don't feel good, this cold medicine is doing really good for me right now. Exactly. Thank you. This is a great point. So it's the love of the woman. So it's her fault when it doesn't work. I mean, I hate to give you so much credit. Greetings from the planet 45 or planet 5. Yes, that's exactly how it works. Everything is always the women's fault. These men are free from any harm or free from any sort of blame. It's always the woman's fault. I love that. That's hilarious. Thank you. This is very true too. It's like believing in Santa Claus. If you don't believe it, it doesn't exist. Yes. Oh my gosh. Now we have an acronym for it.
That is
I'm
awesome.
sorry. Let's see. This is a great question too. Do individual couples set their own covenants? Like when Cody said that their sacred covenant was if he didn't love her, he wouldn't drag her along. No, not necessarily. It's the same verbiage for every relationship, every sealing. Now, that's how it is my understanding in the AUB. In independent, we call them independent groups, like Joe Darger would be considered an independent. They don't believe in a leadership. Then I'm sure that they have individualized covenants that they make, but in the AUB, my understanding is that it's all standard. Everyone has the same thing. That would have been a sacred covenant that Cody made Robin on that 11-day honeymoon that he took her on,
or previous to that, because she plays like she doesn't see what's going on and that it was this utopia, but she saw how he was treating Mary. And so she made him promise that if you ever start treating me like you're treating Mary, you'll just let me know so I can.
Yeah, I never want you to treat me that. Yeah. And that's okay. Let's take that one for a second. That's really sad because a lot of women see that. And Robin, on this last episode, she said, we've all seen women from our church that were discarded and they didn't matter. What was the exact words? I even have it right here. And she was like, so she talks about how sad these women are ignored and they're displaced and their needs don't matter. And if you're a new wife and you're coming in and you're watching a man treat people that way, then yeah, you might expect something a little bit more. And I think maybe Robin did watch Cody treat Mary that way and went, you don't treat me that way. If you don't love me, then let's be done. Like you let me out of this religion, but it doesn't have anything to do with the actual covenant.
Yeah.
Or the ceremony from the temple. That is between the two of them. And so I think that's what Cody meant when he said, I gave you my sacred covenant. I think that's what he meant. It was more of an individual promise.
Yeah. You don't get to change the verbiage of the covenant within the temple unless you're a PSR or something, somebody high ranking. You couldn't just come in and say, hey, I'd like to add these 2 lines to my sacred covenant.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I agree with what, Rosa, you never say too much, by the way. I always appreciate it because sometimes my brain can get a little bit lost when I'm talking. And I love that you always like spell out exactly what I'm thinking. The covenants are very intertwined with religious structure, but I would imagine each couple interprets them their own way.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel like you just like climb in my brain and you say the things as I'm trying to be live and think them. So thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. I wanted to get this. Then Cody stating it's just private is a lie. Could he have promised Robin more than other wives? Absolutely. This happens all the time. I see this all the time where one man will promise one woman something and he didn't promise the other women that. So they don't have that. They can't have that expectation. We never made that agreement. And so I feel like Robin, especially again, this is where I think Sister Wives has done so much good for so many women in polygamous situations because they feel that the way that they're being treated is wrong. But how do you validate that? You can't really validate that. And now you see a public show like Sister Wives and you see all the public outcry saying, wait a minute, look at the way this man is treating one wife over the other wives. And it's very validating for these women who have felt mishandled or mistreated for their entire lives. It feels very validating to go, okay, I thought that felt wrong, but this is the way I was born and raised. So I thought maybe I was, you know,
I was just not being righteous enough. So
right. Are you reading? You're looking at comments. Do I have one you want to? Yeah. Somebody says Cody and Robin played Mary from day one. I think they did too, unfortunately.
Well, they were just all playing the game. Mary was playing the game that she was the good first wife out searching for other wives, trying to get a hand up or show that she was living the religion to its fullest extent, the law of
Right.
Sarah, and Cody and Robin saw that and just took advantage of it. So,
Right. Well, and I feel like
Mhm.
too, a man will make more promises to a woman that he feels like he has to work a little bit harder to get. And so I'm sorry, Christine was all about Cody from day one. I remember when she was all about Cody. I remember when she was just like, this man walks on water.
Mhm.
If he doesn't have to do much and perform much for her, why would he? He certainly doesn't love her to the same extent that he loved the other wives. He's clearly said that. So if he looked at Robin as she was some prize that he had to work a lot harder, he's going to make a lot more promises to her and guarantee that her life is going to be a certain way. And she can come in and make those demands.
Yeah.
And where these other women who just want to be loved and just want to be a part of somebody's family are willing to take the scraps while these guys get the main meal. And
Well, the other women all got married very, very young too, and didn't even have a clue what they were getting married into. They didn't know that they even could have demands or questions or anything like that before they got married. They were just doing what they had been raised to do.
right.
So,
Right.
um,
Right. So,
there's a
okay.
couple good ones up there.
Yeah. Thanks for answering that. Who was Warren Jeffs to the AUB?
Yeah.
I'll say, okay, who is Warren Jeffs to you guys? So when the AUB and the FLDS used to be one group, and then they broke away. And at that point, the AUB went with Rulon Allred, and the FLDS went with Leroy Johnson. And then Leroy Johnson passed away, and then it went down to Rulon Jeffs, and then Rulon Allred. This is weird because Rulon's not a common name, but there's two of them. And then Rulon Allred passed away, and it went to Owen Allred. So that's where the split happened. Is when they broke away from the mainstream LDS Mormon church, and then they ended up breaking away from each other at that point too. So at one point they were all one group, and it literally split families in half. This is why you have a bunch of Jessups in the FLDS and you have a bunch of Jessups in the AUB. This is why you don't really have a lot of Allreds in the FLDS. At least I don't know if there are. But that's where the split came back. And what year was that? We have that paper right here. That happened back in, they broke away from the main. Go ahead.
So to us, or to me growing
He's
up,
nobody.
He was a creepy PSR of another religious group that wasn't the true group. So,
yeah.
And you had to learn why it wasn't the true group because of some story generations before about
right.
somebody getting new revelation and new nefarious revelation and assigning another man the leadership position. So
right.
That was the story. And he was a creepy PSR, prophet, seer, and revelator for another group that was doing it wrong. And that's why he was going to jail.
Right.
So,
well, and they really did start. I remember growing up, Owen speaking to Rulon Jeffs, which is Warren Jeffs' father. I remember them talking all the time and telling, or hearing about these conversations about, hey, you guys got to stop with the child brides. You guys are going to get in trouble. And so they were like trying to distance, the AUB was trying to distance themselves as far away from the FLDS as they could because they didn't want to do the child brides. I got married 8 days after 17. I'm not saying I was a child, but it's pretty young. And so,
but you weren't 14,
but I wasn't 14 or 12. Right. And so, I remember in Sundays, or just remember hearing my dad talk to one of my other mothers, and she has a lot of family in the FLDS, and just how bad it was because they were now assigning marriages and they were marrying underage children. And so that happened, gosh, I would say that was probably in the 80s,
doing it
in the mid 80s. I remember those. Yeah. And so the AUB really tried to pull away from the FLDS and that, and wanted to be very separate. And then, in fact, I'm going to be posting a picture pretty soon about an article that my dad did, and it's a picture of our entire family. He did an article for a German magazine because they were really trying to show that, look, the AUB is completely different from the FLDS. We don't assign people and we don't do underage marriages, even though they do assign people and they do have some underage marriages. It's just not as common as it is in the FLDS. So they think they're better. Wait, there was a question up
We
here.
only do it on special occasions. It's not a norm. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Does the AUB charge people for a release? The Catholic Church charges people quite a bit of money for an annulment. Really? Oh, I did not know that.
Well, now you've gone and done it. So now they will start charging people. They didn't know they could charge people for a release.
We could do that. We could make a lot of money.
Make some money. Double your tithing this month, and I'll give you a release. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never heard of this. No, as far as I know, they don't charge for a release.
To be honest,
I was not charged when I got my release.
Releases, I guess they're becoming more and more common, but most of the time they're not. They weren't common when I was growing up, when I was young. The only way that there was release granted is usually when a man would leave. And so those wives that wanted to stay with the AUB would be granted a release so that they could marry again within the AUB.
Right.
So
yeah, I personally was not charged.
It was very, very rare.
Yeah. You had to it had to be like a very egregious sin in order for you to get a release. Abandonment was just not something. It's like, oh, well, too bad. You made an eternal covenant at 14. Suck it up.
This is why Janelle says when they were going into it,
there was no
exit plan. You didn't just get to go, you know what, I'm quitting today. And so it had to be a serious charge against your priesthood leader that you had to bring forward, and it had to be proven, and he had to be ousted by the other priesthood leaders. And it was a good old boys club, so it was very, very rare that a wife could get a release unless that man just up and left and was done with it.
Right.
So
right. And if that happened, or like, let's say the man, had an affair of some sort with a woman who wasn't married to him, then, which happens a lot. If let's say it got found out, let's put it that way, that it got found out or it was discovered, then at that point, all the wives would just automatically be released. And if you chose to stay with him, you would be considered adulterous too. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I wanted to get back to this because Rosa says, I feel like the AUB gives more room for underage marriages when it's a first marriage and both parties are closer in age. They have been strict about no underage plural marriages for years. So I was the first wife. My ex-husband was 25 years old and I was a week into 17. So there was a little bit of an age gap there for us. It felt like a very big age gap for me. The minute that we got married, I became his property, and he let everyone in that room know that I was his property and that he was now in charge of me. And so, but then we started courting a girl, and she was 16 and I was 18 and he was 27. And so when he started dating her.
Well, and I would agree there, my generation, they were encouraging that you were getting married later on in life, but
right.
Yeah. Generation before me, I knew of some underage marriages, but
quite a few. Yeah. I would say back in the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s, I was married for the first time in 91. Then yes, there was a lot more underage, but the girl that we started to court, she was 16 years old and it felt so predatory to me. I was not about it.
At the time it felt predatory?
At the time it felt very predatory. And that's another reason why I went to the prophet. But the prophet wanted my ex-husband to marry her. And he was like, I'm not going to tell you that you have to do this. I'm just telling you, you and Melanie are my choice for her. And I want you two to marry her. And I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, she turned 17 during the courtship, but she was still 16. I was 18 and he was 27. Like that feels so wrong.
Do members of the AUB harass people who speak out against their group, like the Scientologists? I think they try to ignore them. But yeah. So if you're speaking out, or then you're basically encouraged to shun those people, because they have now been turned over to the buffetings of Satan. And so everything that comes out of their mouth is Satan's word, and you should not listen to them. So that's kind of their little teachings, or kind of how we grew up. If somebody was bad mouthing or speaking ill of the priesthood leader or the church itself, then you just didn't listen to anything that they said.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Mel was like, put my release on Dave's tab. That's funny. But yeah, I definitely feel like, so in my situation, I agree with what Rose is saying because I've heard this too, but I also have a brother-in-law who got his second wife and she was extremely young. I want to say she barely turned 18 and he is older than me. I want to say he's got 20 years on her and she became his second wife. And that was my brother-in-law who married her.
Yeah, but she's 18. She's a
I know.
legal adult.
So
she
yes,
can make
she
her own
was 18,
decisions, so
but he had married
what
my
they're saying.
sister and had, I don't know, 5 or 6 kids before he married the second wife. And she was extremely, I felt like extremely young, but again, she was 18. So there you go. So
yeah, they definitely tried to change during Owen's presidency. Yeah. He tried to change the look, and there were more rules put down on dating and
right.
Marriage dates and stuff like that. They definitely, it was the FLDS definitely was a bad stigma for polygamy, and so we were trying to clean up. The AUB was trying to clean up its look, that they didn't behave like the FLDS did. So
yeah,
even though there was occasions that it did happen. So
right, and it did. I mean, it definitely does. There's situations where they're like, nope, sorry, you wait till she's 18, and then they get married like within days after her 18th birthday. So that happens a lot too. There was a lot of predatory abuse happening in the AUB in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. That I feel like Owen Allred tried to rectify some of that, if you will, where he was like, they did start turning like SA predators into law enforcement. They did start doing, I don't feel like they started it fast enough. I don't feel like there was a lot of, there was a lot of abuses that went that should have been taken care of and they weren't. Oh, Rosa says, I have a feeling that this was happening more in the Salt Lake area than the outlying communities because I feel like it was pretty rare in our community in Cedar. 18 is super common with courting before. Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised when my ex-husband, recently found a video of us on a date with her. It was awkward. It was so uncomfortable and so like I hate even watching it. Like I'm embarrassed about it because I feel a lot of shame when I watch it because I didn't know any better either. Here I was 18 with a 1-year-old and I had my first baby. I got married at 8 days after 17. I had a baby 9 months later. And so here I am 18, we're courting this new girl and her dad was all about it because he wanted her to marry my ex-husband and I. And so it was, I feel like a lot of people looked away a lot because they didn't want to go against what the prophet wanted.
And see, up there in Pinesdale, they were encouraging, I feel like in my class, when we were all graduating, they were encouraging everybody to graduate before they started dating and getting married, even though some of the girls were dating
right,
older men within the community.
Well, the one particular girl that we courted, she was graduating high school early. Yeah. She graduated from the AUB school, the one that Christine taught at. She graduated from the AUB school and she graduated early. So that was another reason her father wanted to push her into a marriage. Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of abuses. We are definitely not going to deny that.
Somebody asked in here, where is she now? Have you kept tabs? Do you know?
As far as I know, she is a plural wife now, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. Clue. I haven't kept tabs. I've seen her here and there at different functions, but we don't acknowledge each other. I don't acknowledge her. She doesn't acknowledge me. Like we act like we never even knew who each other were. And honestly, I feel like more of the trauma of that situation I held on to than she probably doesn't even give it two
remember
thought.
dating.
Well, she does. There's
Wow.
no way that she doesn't remember it because her father pushed her towards us
Oh.
extremely. But there's no way that she doesn't. But for me, it was a lot more traumatic because I had a brand new baby. I had a little baby, and then I got pregnant immediately thereafter and had our second baby. And so, yeah, and it wasn't very nice. I could have been nicer, but I was 17 trying to negotiate, 18 trying to negotiate my way through these emotions. So,
Lamb has a good one there. You once said neither of you heard of or used the name the Apostolic United Brethren. What did you call your church? If somebody asked you what your religion was, what did you tell them?
I was just called it the Allred group or the group.
We heard the Allred group, yeah, or the work.
Yeah.
My parents
The
would call it
fullness of the gospel.
work, the fullness of the gospel.
Corey's mom still fully.
Yeah.
I don't
calls
even
it the-
know if your mom realizes it's called the AUB.
No, I don't think
She
does.
still calls it the fullness of the gospel.
Yep.
Oh.
And well, okay, so you live the fullness of the gospel. What group are? Oh, we're associated with the Allred group. Is probably
Yeah.
what they would have said.
So we always called it the Allred group, or the group. I mean, I never really
Yeah.
called it the Allred group either. It was just more called the group.
Yeah.
And then people are like, the group, what does that mean? Oh, you know, all the polygamous people in Bluffdale, Utah, they're the Allreds. That's
Yeah.
the church I grew up in.
I feel
So,
like other people outside of it would call it the Allred group.
right.
To define who it was. We were just like, no, it's the group or
And
the
honestly,
work.
in school, in public school, Corey didn't go to public school. I did. In public school, people would say, well, what religion are you? And we're Mormon. We would just say we were Mormon. And what sucked is when they would be like, well, what ward do you go to? Where's your church? I'm like, I don't know. And so I would just avoid the subject. I didn't have any friends in public school. I only had friends in the polygamous school, and somebody's just made a comment that said, I didn't know that the AUB had a school. They do. They have their own school. They have one in Pinesdale. They have one in down here. In fact, Christine talks about it a lot. She went out there and she was a teacher out there at that school for a long time. I was a teacher out there. Mary Brown, because she was a barber. Mary Brown's mom, Bonnie, is the one who helped me get my homeschooling certificate so I could teach out there at the private school. And so it was just a little, it's still there. Corey and our daughter went to a graduation for one of our nieces there not too long ago. And so, yeah, that does help with the brainwashing to have a school. It helps to keep kids more away from the world. And one of the biggest teachings we were taught growing up is be in the world, but not of the world. And so your friends were from church. Everything you did was from church because you had to be in the world. We all do, but you don't have to be of the world and be worldly or be whatever. So
And we were on the compound, so we didn't have that saying. We were even outside of the world. So we were in God's chosen utopia. So
yeah. Oh, it says, which school did Mary's mom teach at? So they had, I don't even know. I'm sure that it has a public name for it, but I don't know what it is. But Mary's mom, Bonnie,
Plig school.
yeah, she was in charge of the school out here and it's taught at the church house. And so all the Brown kids went there for quite a while. When they moved here from Wyoming, Christine talks about it in her book. When they moved here from Wyoming, Christine started teaching out at that school. And I taught out there. I taught out there in 90. I want to say I taught out there from 92 to 94. So it's been a while. But okay, so here's this one too. What age did you start public school? Did you attend the AUB first? I went to public school my whole life. I never went to the AUB school until I graduated. Well, I didn't graduate high school. I didn't graduate high school until I was 25 years old after I left the AUB and got divorced. Then I went back and got my high school diploma. But I got married. I didn't do my senior year of high school. I had a baby and got married. And so, yeah, Bonnie, Mary's mom, Bonnie, was in charge of that school. She was the, what's it called? The principal. And
Pinesdale had its own elementary school called Pines Elementary. And then at a certain point, a lot of the kids didn't want to go down to the public school, Corvallis Public School. because usually they would go down there for high school, the last 4 years of high school. And so then they did start, which I went to, was Pines High. So I went to Pines Academy and then Pines High.
Yeah. And no, you didn't have to wear uniforms. You just wore your plid clothes, your prairie garb.
Yeah. And most of Pines High School was a packet system. We would have classes, different other classes, but as long as you did your packets, you could get a high school equivalency.
A GED.
Yeah. And then we'd go down and take the GED and show that we were educated enough to pass a GED.
Yeah.
And so most of us that graduated from Pines High School would go get a GED and as our high school diploma. So
right. And so that's kind of what.
And most of the classes were some of the classes, especially the last year of high school, was to teach you how to take a GED and pass it and get the appropriate knowledge to do that. So
right.
It does sound like a marijuana strain. We're at Pines High.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. And Rosa made a comment that she had her school friends and then she had her church friends. And that's how I feel like that's how I was too. Cause I didn't really have any friends at school. I sat by myself all the time. At lunch, I sat by myself. I was really quite the loner of a child because people in my school weren't dumb. They knew that, they would joke about our family being polygamous. And what's funny is now one of the girls that I hung out with, if I ever did hang out, it would be with one of these girls. They were just mean girls. Now one of them's a local news anchor here. And one of them is our lieutenant governor here in the state of Utah. And those were some of the girls that I hung out with, but they would make fun of me because they knew that my parents were polygamist. And so yeah, it was really, I just didn't even want to be bothered with people at school because why? They're not the chosen people. So you hang out with the chosen people. And so we just hung out with our church friends.
So you were snubbing them.
I know. So
my graduating class was a class of 2. So most of the kids from Pinesdale did go down and go to public high school and got a high school diploma, but 2 of us didn't in my graduating class. The class of 89, there's 2 of us in graduating class. It was amazing.
I would have been the class of 91 or 92. Instead, I had a baby in 92, and then I didn't get my diploma until 2000. I think I got my diploma in 2000.
So somebody asked something about equality up there.
Where? You see one? Sorry to hear you couldn't bring friends home. Glad you graduated. Yeah, I could never bring friends home to my family.
Islam polygamy.
Might have to find it on your.
Go down, right there.
Okay. One thing I prefer about the laws of Islam has
about polygamy is that you have to treat every wife equally, same size house, same amount of money. Well, the AUB feels like they are treating each wife equally, and it doesn't mean that each wife gets the same size house, the same amount of money. They do it, most of them try to do it with, hey, this wife has 6 kids, this wife has 2. The household, they try to do it as, okay, this wife only needs to feed her and 2 kids. This one needs to feed her and 6 kids. And so they break it down. Mm-hmm. Usually when you go to the United Order, the husband will go to the United Order. He's donated everything into it. He's asking for funds back. That is based on him, his wives, and how many children he has. And it's broken down what each child needs to survive, what each wife needs to survive.
Right.
And then that is dispersed to the wives and their children. So they feel like it's fair, but that's why, one wife will have a bedroom and another bedroom for 2 of her kids. Another wife will have a bedroom and 3 bedrooms for 6 of her kids. So they break it down like that. I grew up sharing a bedroom most of
I've
my
never had my own bedroom, not
Yeah.
once ever in my entire
So,
life.
with for a long time, two of my other brothers, and then we felt really, really rich because then only two of us had to stay in a bedroom. And so,
Right.
yeah. And then later on, when everybody's moving out and stuff like that, kids got their own bedrooms because he built a house huge. So,
Right.
and then eventually kids could have their own floors. So, because there's only two kids left in a 7,000 square foot home.
Yeah.
So
I get the top
wives
floor,
could
you get
have
the
their
bottom floor.
their whole floor instead of just bedrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah. Most of the times it was
As
just bedrooms that were
diminished.
dispersed, not homes.
Yeah, as family diminished over now, the younger kids could have everything. So
Right. I know I wanted to get to this question right here. Apologize for my ignorance, but does the AUB or the LDS believe the Book of Mormon is over the Bible, or do they value them the same? Is one over the other? Thank you for sharing your stories.
yes and no. One
You
of
can
the
go with that one, and then I'll
one
give my
of the
opinion.
things that Joseph Smith taught was the Bible is the word of God as long as it's translated by him. I mean, translated
I was like, wait.
correctly. And so he did
That's
some
hilarious.
adjustments within the Bible so that it sounded better or backed up the Book of Mormon, I guess, a little bit better. So you can read the King James version of the Bible, and you can read Joseph Smith's updates of the Bible, but they believe that the Bible is the Word of God. They believe that the Bible is a testament of Christ, and that the Book of Mormon is just that backup, the second testament of Jesus Christ. But the Mormons are pretty proud of their scriptures too, so
Right.
so they want to at least have it on an equal thing. And if you can't find somewhere in the Bible that says you shall live polygamy, then you can go to the Doctrine and Covenants and find that. So you shall live polygamy. So yeah. So
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They've updated it all.
Mormons have what's called the Articles of Faith, and they're basically the foundational principles of Mormonism. And one of the Articles of Faith states that they do believe in the Bible as long as it is translated correctly. There's over 300 different translations of the Bible, or probably more, I would assume. And so my understanding is that the Mormon Church does follow the King James version of the Bible. That's what they believe. But they believe that the Book of Mormon is another testament of Christ. It says right on the front cover, Book of Mormon, another testament of Christ. So they just believe it is just another, that it's not there to replace necessarily the Bible, just there to, is that how you understood it?
Yeah, but Dead Sea Scroll, or sorry, I'm reading the Dead Sea Scrolls there.
I've seen
the
I've
Articles
seen
of Faith. Scrolls. The Articles of Faith is a shiny veneer of what they believe. They're not going to go into the deep teachings, but it's a shiny veneer of, well, hey, Christians, we believe the same thing you guys do. So
right,
that's what the Articles of Faith are.
Right.
So
no, I agree with you on that one. Okay. Mel and Corey, since you both had parents who converted from the mainstream, do you feel like they passed down some knowledge from, or for lack of better term, the real world? I would say it's exactly the opposite. I would say, in my experience, my mom didn't want us to know a lot of that kind of stuff, and my dad didn't want us to know a lot of that kind of stuff. And so I felt like we were sheltered from a lot more because of that.
Yeah. We were raised on a compound, so we were very sheltered, but I did have some amazing mothers that would talk to us about the real world, the way that they grew up, things like that. In many ways to scare us not to go out into the
exactly
real world.
It was used as fear tactics more than anything else. Like, don't do this, or look what's going to happen to you. Don't do, I mean, some of Corey's stories, I thought that I had it pretty severe, and I had nothing compared to what Corey had growing up. I remember saying to his mom, "What in the hell are you thinking? What were you doing teaching?" And she was like, "Well, that's what we taught him back then." I'm like, "Oh my God."
So
you're going to go defend it? Oh,
no. Can the AUB exist without Mormonism?
Or did Mormonism Oh, okay.
Mormonism came first. The AUB believe that they are still living the original teachings of Mormonism that Joseph Smith taught. They feel like the church has changed. The actual Mormon church has changed its position so many times on what actually Joseph Smith
Yep.
and Brigham Young taught, that they are living the full laws. And so if the church would go back to living the full laws of what Joseph Smith and Brigham Young taught, all of the people from the AUB, well, except for the leadership, because they'd want to stay in leadership position, would probably flood back to the LDS church.
That's true. That's true.
So the leaders would probably be like, well, no. And it would be negotiations. Okay, well, if you guys are changing all your rules back to the way they were, I'm the PSR of the AUB. Maybe I could at least get a council member position within your church. So
I will not give up my authority.
I will not give it up. So yeah, the AUB only exists because the Mormon Church exists, and they feel like that they are living the full laws that Joseph Smith taught, and that the church has changed. The minute the church banned polygamy, behind the scenes, some of those church members and council members were still living polygamy.
Mhm.
And so they were still marrying children, grandchildren into the polygamist. They were just keeping it quiet for the public consumption. They no longer lived polygamy. And then at a certain time, they said no more. And so then those families that had been living polygamy started living it in secret and started following their own leadership. They believed that there was a man set aside. The church was going to run it the way that they were, with no more polygamy. But then they believed that somebody in high ranking in the church gave keys and leadership to another man to continue polygamy, because they claimed that Joseph Smith put it here on the earth to be lived, and it will never be taken from the earth. So there's got to be some people who continue to live polygamy under the keys of polygamy, even though they're going to be persecuted and do that. And so then each community claims the keys of that leadership from the 8-hour meeting, where it was set aside that they were given special keys to continue polygamy. So that's the whole. So yeah, they consider themselves the true Church of Jesus Christ.
And every polygamous sect,
every polygamous sect thinks that they are the true polygamous, or living the truth of the LDS Church. So.
And that goes right back to what we were saying at the beginning of our live, is that it doesn't really, when people said, do they believe they're direct descendants of Jesus? No, it doesn't really matter. It matters your priesthood lineage coming from where. I know my cold medicine's starting to wear off a little bit. I'm getting a little, so we'll probably talk for a couple more minutes, then then I'm going to go take some more cold medicine. I know there was one in here that I wanted to get to. What?
No.
Okay, the King James Version of the Bible is heavily edited. The only version of the Bible that is almost identical to the Dead Sea Scrolls is the Torah, the Hebrew Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because my boys are huge studiers. Corey's always been a huge studier. I've got one boy who has read the Bible listened to the Bible several different times, and he says the same thing, because he wants to know, if he's going to make an argument out with somebody, he wants to know what he's talking about. And so he, I'm like, what is that sound? So he has been studying and reading, and he would agree with you on that one. He says the same thing. Okay, let's see. What did you have a question you wanted to get
just that.
Which one?
There was two of them, the Advent, and then
here, you want to scroll up there? I don't see it. I know. Sorry, guys. My cold medicine's definitely wearing off. I can feel it.
Okay, let's do this one first. Does the AUB have 12 apostles in addition to your dad who are in charge of the church? They try to keep 12 apostles. They get inspiration every once in a while and put another
Those
apostle
damn
into
men keep essaying children and
yeah, but every
stuff like
time they go
that.
to jail or have something go on and they lose an apostle here or there. So that I don't know. Yeah, they're trying to keep a group of 12 apostles in there. It's been very difficult over the years, my understanding. So.
And this is true. We joke about it, but unfortunately it is true that there is a lot of people. They do try to keep 12 apostles. It's set up as the same structure, but they really have a hard time doing that because so many of them they go to jail or they're accused of some egregious crime.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point they lost like four of the 12 right off the bat, just boom, 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 boom. And one of them went to jail. And for the rest, I think he died in jail.
Yeah, the Lord took the other ones. So.
Yeah, so it does happen. Does the AUB have anything like Advent, which the Catholic Church does in preparation for Christmas?
No, I don't think they do. In fact, it depends on who you are in the AUB. There are some AUB members that don't even celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
They celebrate April 6th, the founding of the church, and when they feel like Christ was born. So some of them believe that route. And then there are the heathens that do celebrate Christmas, but there's nothing official that the church puts on to celebrate Christmas. So
right.
So
right. Yeah. Thanks, Rosa, for answering that question about the shunning. If people leave, is it hard to leave? I would definitely say the AUB has a more soft level of control than hard control like the FLDS or even the Kingstons. It is very more soft controlled. You don't necessarily get shunned per se, but yes, you do. It's not really taught over the pulpit. Although I'm curious if my dad has ever said anything over the pulpit about us.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you're approached by Corey and Melanie, which we have never reached out to someone else, hey, come and tell us your story. If we talk to people, it's because they've reached out to us. And so we have never really reached out and said, here, let's, tell us your story. So
are there members who do not live polygamy in the AUB, or is that a requirement? To be honest with you, yeah, it's part of the teaching. You need 3 wives. You need to live polygamy to make it into the highest degree of glory. So are there men that don't get 3 wives? Yeah. Do they try? Sure. They absolutely try to get 3 wives, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. But is it a requirement? Yeah, it's a requirement if you want to make it into heaven. If you don't want to make it into heaven, you want to just be a servant in heaven, or then yeah, just only have 1 wife or 2 wives, but get that 3rd one if you want to make it into the. And here's the interesting part: you might only get 2 wives or 1 wife that is willing to marry you and live with you here on earth, but you could get sealed to somebody who had passed without getting a husband, or who had come in. So you could get sealed to somebody who had passed.
And this is what's so hilarious about this entire thing. We'll address this and then this will be our last one because my cold medicine is wearing off. I'm sorry. I hate having a cold, but and we're actually going to make a whole video on this because I sent Corey a text the other day and he was like, what the hell does this text mean? And it's like, I already fulfilled the law. Because you heard Cody Brown on TV. Someone said on one of his special forces interviews, would you live polygamy again? And Cody said, no, I already fulfilled the law. He believes he already fulfilled the law once. So what Corey was just saying is this is very true. A lot of men won't actually physically live polygamy, but they'll have wives sealed to them that have already died or already passed on. And in their mind, that is how they fulfilled the law of that God has commanded that people live polygamy. And we're going to do a whole video on this one because there's just so much to talk about on this subject. But I do have an aunt, and she was like, I don't understand it. I get along with all of my sister wives. Every one of my sister wives, I get along with so good. I just can't get along with this one sister wife. And I was like, what in the hell? The one sister wife that she couldn't get along with was alive. The other 2 sister wives that she got along with so well, she had such a deep spiritual connection with, were both dead. And so I'm like, you're kidding, right? Like that's, and she never lived polygamy with these 2 wives because the one had passed. That one was my aunt. She passed before this wife ever even came into the family. And then the other wife was on her deathbed when she was sealed to my uncle. And so this woman and she's like, yeah, I get along so well with my spiritual sister wives. I just can't get along with the one who's here on earth.
She's
and so in her mind, in her husband's mind, they fulfilled the law of plural marriage because he had 4 wives that were sealed to him. 2 of them just had died. And so it's kind of funny. We joke about it, but some people take it very seriously and they don't think it's funny. But I think it's hilarious because I was like, you're kidding, right? And I know this woman is extremely hard to get along with. And I'm like, I'm going to guess that those other sister wives are rolling over in their graves and they're not thinking that they're getting along with you that well. But in your mind, okay, whatever.
And
but
here's my dad doing it the hard way by living with all 9. So yeah, he's crazy.
I know.
And yeah, and then you got like my dad had 9 wives. So that's depleting the pool of wives up there in Pinesdale. So I'm sure other men who only had 1 or 2 were like, come on, share.
Corey's dad was greedy. And these men were like, get out of here, mister. You're greedy. You're taking up all the available women. And so then they kicked out all of Corey's family because they're like, get out. All the women want to marry you guys because they look how cute they are and how sweet they are. And so Corey's dad definitely 9 women. I don't know how he did that.
In one house.
Yeah.
He definitely did it the most difficult way. So.
Yeah. So no, we do know a lot of people who stay in the AUB who are not married. Again, it kind of goes back to what we were saying at the beginning. You know, when this other creator said my dad had 8 wives, he probably has more. We just are unaware of them because they were spiritually sealed to him after they've passed.
So that he can be in harmony with them.
But yeah. So my dad, that I am aware of, did have 8 wives. Again, 1 divorced him. She was the first wife. My mom left him, the second wife. The 3rd wife is still with him. The 4th wife has passed on. The 5th wife is still with him. The 6th wife is the legal wife. The 7th wife died. And the 8th wife was my best friend growing up. So there's my dad's 8 wives. He does not have 4 that just magically left him or whatever. As you're being told on other channels, that's not the case. So,
and I'm not even going to attempt that whole thing. I got
three aren't moms, all of your moms?
3 moms still alive.
Yeah, you have 3 moms. Well, so Corey's biological mom is still alive, and then 2 other mothers, and the one has been so supportive of our channel. Thank you. We love you so much. She hears us talking about something, and then she'll send us documentation to back up what we're talking about, and she's just been wonderful. We've really appreciated her.
Yeah.
So no, we really thank you. Oh, do the men call dibs on the dead women? That is so hilarious. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to put this one up
here because yes, they do. Unfortunately, they really do.
At least their inheritance.
Yeah. And so when I heard Cody Brown say this on the Special Forces, I would never live polygamy again. I've already done that. I've already fulfilled that law. He truly does. I just thought it was funny because here he says he no longer believes in this religion, and yet he makes a comment like that on a show. I was dying
because in his and Robin's mind, they've never broke the covenants with the wives. The wives had broke the covenants with him,
right,
and with her, but neither of them have. So they have lived polygamy, and because 3 wives chose out, that's on them. They've chosen out of their kingdom of heaven. So he doesn't have to get 3 more wives or 2 more wives to lay claim on his kingdom in heaven.
Right.
He's already done that. And he did that for whatever it is, 20, 25 years. He earned his kingdom in heaven.
For claiming to not be a believer, he makes a comment like that and makes me go, excuse. So I instantly text that to Corey so I wouldn't forget. And Corey comes in the bedroom because he was in the office or something, comes in, excuse me, what does this mean? I'm like, we got to make a video about this. This is hilarious. Thank you guys so much. Thank our mods for help. Thank you so much for modding for us. Rosa, I appreciate it so much. Katie, we love you and adore you. We are going to try to do a couple more lives. But now that I better get better because I can feel the cold medicine wearing off and my brain is skipping. But thank you guys so much. Again, if you're considering your holiday gift giving, Holding Out Help is a wonderful charity that we really highly endorse. We'll have that in the top of our show notes. We will start book club up again in January. Was there something else I was going to say? I can't remember what it was. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you'll see more of our daily updates. I'm going to post the news article that my dad, well, it's not going to be the article, but you'll see the picture of our whole family. I'm actually in there with my ex-husband and my baby, because this picture was taken in 92, and I had a little guy at that point. So my one that studies the Bible now is my oldest. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And yeah, happy holidays for everybody that celebrates that too. We will be back with our, I think we're going to try some wine on Sunday. I haven't drank wine in a minute because I just can't handle it, but it's fun. It's fun to make those videos
At least
on wine.
NyQuil.
At least I'll be on NyQuil. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you guys all. And we appreciate it. Don't forget to follow our other social media. Did I forget anything else? Am I just rambling at this point?
Like, share, you hyped.
Oh yeah. Thanks for hyping our videos too. We appreciate that.
So that's amazing.
And we'll give you more updates as my mom's lawsuit progresses and things that we can say about it. That we will definitely be giving you guys more updates on that as long.
Yeah. Ask us questions. If you hear other people, creators making statements, ask us to see. We'll try to get the truth, or as we know it, the truth out. So
yeah. So thank you all. Have a great night.
Love you, sister.